Looks like we're clear here. Getting a bridge. There's no sign of the intruder on deck 29. Oh hey, welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. When I was talking about Star Frontiers recently, I mentioned Star Trek Voyager, and it made me realize, hey, I haven't talked about Star Trek in a long time, so let's do that. And what we're talking about this time is the ThinkGeek wall panel that came out 10 years ago or something. It's a really neat, actually kind of functional thing, in the same way that my Star Trek communicator I can pair with my phone and make phone calls and do various other commands through the phone. This thing has some other similar functionality as well. You've seen me push the button. I can call the whatever floor I feel like. I think this is about to scale with what you saw in the show. There's now also, you can flick this button up, and that does the door sound effect. And if I walk through, let me just give you an example. If I pass that side, hey, it's the door. And if you flick it the other direction, that would be usable if you're maybe in a scenario where you've got this mounted on... No, that's the red alert. That's the red alert. Okay, hang on. Oh, and I've told the people up on the bridge, don't bother with the lights. Okay. So, up is the door, down is red alert. Okay. And that button cancels, I think. It's been a while since I played with this thing. That's also something that I don't usually have this on during parties because people want to press that, and that gets really annoying really quick. There is also a way to... Oh, you know what it is? Okay, I have now remembered, because it's been a few years. I have got this selected. This is actually wall mountable just on a couple of screws, and as you can see, whenever you take it off, you can actually flip a little switch to tell the panel what direction it needs to go for what side of the doorway you have it. So for example, if I flick it this way, it'll flip so that the sound effect will happen if I pass it to the left, and then if I flick it over this way, the sound effect will happen if I move it to if I am passing the panel to the right. Does that make sense? I'm not 100%. Basically, if I'm over, there's a little sensor here, and that switch will tell it if somebody passes that way, do the door sound effect. There's a little panel here, or sensor, and if I have that switch flipped that way, then that means if somebody passes on that side, that would actually cause the little door sound effect to go across. So let's just flip that back on. There it is. That's really cool. There was actually, I remember the ThinkGeek ad, they showed this mounted in, let's turn that off again. They had this thing mounted in somebody's cubicle, and as you walked into the cubicle, it would make that door sound effect, and it was like, that is probably the supreme Star Trek nerdiness at its most awesome. So I really like that functionality. And again, in the downward position, red alert goes off. We'll just turn that off though, if I can. I'm not entirely sure. Does this thing just keep going? Yeah, you really don't want to have this on at a party. Okay. I'm really not too sure if this is actually the proper scale, as I mentioned earlier before. I mean, this is definitely the right size. I think the red exterior panel was probably larger, so there's that. But, you know, it was really cool. I think you can't really get these anymore, but I've seen them on eBay for 50 to 80 bucks. I mean, collector's item, maybe. Some people like to modify these so that they can do other functions. That's pretty neat. It'd be nice if you could get like a smart home interface with this thing, but I don't know. You'd maybe, you'd probably, you know what would be nice? If you've got a assistant like the one that Amazon sells, whose name I will not mention because I know it'll set off your devices, or the Google version of the same thing. If you could maybe hook that up so that this is the audio input, that's what I think a lot of people are doing. And that would be pretty cool, because that way you could just say the phrase and, you know, ask it what date does something occur on, or whatever, or can you book me a taxi cab, that kind of stuff. So anyway, that is the ThinkGeek Star Trek wall panel, which I really loved getting, and as long as I don't have red alert playing too often, it's a lot of fun at parties, especially as people walk past and forth and the door sound effect happens. Alright, well, until next time, I'll see you down the rabbit hole.